Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Edna.
And I'm Raymond Yeung. Here are tonight's top stories. 2 democracy activists who jumped bail to escape Mongkok riot charges given asylum in Germany, according to foreign media.
Democrats protest against Carrie Lam, who says courts and not her will have the say on extraditing suspects.
At least 6 killed and dozens injured as supporters of defeated Indonesian presidential candidate protest in Jakarta.
In a stunning revelation, 2 overseas newspapers have reported that Hong Kong democracy activists Raymond and Alan Lee have been given asylum by Germany.
The pair, who were wanted by Hong Kong police on rioting charges, could be the first dissenters from the city to be granted asylum status.
Edward Yeung and Ray Wong were once at the forefront of the independence movement, having founded the localist group Hong Kong Indigenous. They were among dozens of people charged with rioting following the Mongkok unrest in 2016. Yeung was later sentenced to 6 years in jail, but Wong jumped bail in 2017 and was never seen in public again. His whereabouts remained a mystery until the New York Times reported today that he, along with fellow activist Alan Lee, are now residing in Germany as refugees. According to the report, Wong and Lee left Hong Kong for Taiwan in November 2017 before making their way to Berlin, where they sought asylum from the German government. Wong claimed their application was approved in May last year, but he only disclosed it in April. In a text message to the New York Times, Wong said he felt he couldn't hide anymore because he would eventually be recognized. German authorities confirmed to the newspaper that 2 Hong Kong applicants were granted refugee protection last year, but did not name the individuals. This marks the first time that dissenters from the SAR have been given such a status by a foreign country. In a separate interview with the Financial Times, Wong added that the Hong Kong government's recent push to amend the extradition laws also prompted him to speak up. "I will never be able to come back if Hong Kong can extradite me back to China once I return," he said. Wong also believed Hong Kong authorities let him keep his passport back then, instead of imposing a travel ban, because, according to him, the strategy of success in China is for all activists to leave so that they become useless. The 25-year-old chose to go to Germany because of the country's much stronger stance towards China, especially on human rights. Wong admitted that he didn't want to leave Hong Kong, the place where he grew up. "It's a big price to pay," he said, recalling that he even wept on the street after arriving in Germany because he felt homesick. But he's now learning German and will seek a politics and philosophy degree at the University of Göttingen in September. Wong and Lee may be speaking in public for the first time soon. According to the Financial Times, they could appear before the German parliament to talk about the Tiananmen Square crackdown.
Top Hong Kong government officials refused to comment on Germany's decision to grant asylum to Ray Wong and Alan Lee.
Lawmakers across the aisle agree, although on different grounds, that the issue is serious and must be followed up.
Following the exposé, Secretary for Justice Teresa Cheng declined to respond to assumption.
Your statement is based on an assumption that I haven't seen the evidence of. It is a statement that is reported in a particular media. I'm not able, therefore, to really comment on that media or that basis of assumption at this stage.
She added Hong Kong police will do what it should do regarding the wanted suspects. Security Chief John Lee, meanwhile, admitted Hong Kong cannot currently request the extradition of people who jump bail. He added law enforcement agencies will study the extradition treaty signed with Germany and follow up if necessary. Lawmakers across the aisle waded into the debate.
There is a lack of trust on the part of the German government that Wong and Lee would not be able to face fair and public trial in Hong Kong. So I think this is a very serious assumption. which the SAR government should take up with the German authorities as a matter of priority. What are the grounds for accepting these two young people as political refugees? And what grounds do they have for doubting the integrity of our courts?
This is a very alarming signal to Hong Kong people and perhaps to the rest of the world that in the eyes of many other countries, Hong Kong is unable to maintain the one country, two system.
Kwok added the proposed amendments to the extradition laws will further veil worries from the international community about Hong Kong's autonomy.
The court says that
The chief executive says the favorable conditions needed to introduce national security laws are getting further and further away.
Carrie Lam also told legislators that it will be up to the courts and not her to decide whether there is evidence to send the suspects to a jurisdiction with which Hong Kong has no extradition treaty. Michelle Yeung reports.
As Carrie Lam made her way to the chamber, she was greeted by Pan-Democrats protesting against the contentious extradition amendment bill. They held a banner which read, "No extradition to mainland China." Once inside, Civic Party lawmaker Kwok Ka-ki chanted slogans demanding the scrapping of the proposed changes and the resignation of the chief executive. That prompted President Andrew Leung to order his removal. Pro-establishment unionist legislator Wong Kwok-kin told Lam that some local legal scholars are worried that she would hand over anyone